Lydia Walter. Why East Coast Bowhunting Podcast?
Because neither one of us wear pink camo.
East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Look, man, I'm from Wisconsin, and I listen to the East Coast Bowhunters because you don't get anything more real than these guys.
Because East Coast Bowhunting sets the standards for keeping its listeners informed on everything that matters in the hunting industry.
Nice having somebody, local and represent the East Coast for us.
The East Coast is going to saddle up.
Number one source for slaying whitetails on the East Coast.
Well, you might see Jesus if you actually shoot something, it'll get you into heaven.
Why East Coast? Why not? I'm East Coast, baby. That's how we roll. Chew on that.
Come on the show, a stranger, and you feel like one of the boys when you leave.
Because I get my hunting camp anytime I want.
There's some absolute monsters roaming the East Coast, and I think it needs a little attention, so why not bring it to the East Coast Bowhunters Podcast?
Man, because East Coast is a tight-knit crew, and y'all like me. Raw, real, no bullshit.
Because you guys are hometown boys. I love you guys.
This is Kurt Geyer with Working Class Bowhunter, and East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is the only hunting podcast I'll tune into.
Welcome back to the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. I'm your boy D-Rock here with
Trev.
And we're here in Des Moines at the Iowa Deer Classic, and it's still going crazy. This episode is brought to you by Shabim Brewing, The Hunter's Beer, 100 Demons, East Coast Hardcore Music, Trev's Euros for all your Euro Mount needs, Outright Hunting, the last bow hanger you'll ever buy, Death Wish Coffee, fueled by death, Ethics Archery, it's like steroids for your arrows, Nor'easter Game Calls, get them in close, Wild Edge Inc., the leader in mobile hunting, powered by Scranton Motors and Power Motorsports, and presented by Working Class Bowhunter. Not just a podcast, but the brand in the hunting industry. East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is here as always for new and old hunters by sharing our experiences in the woods through playing and slaying. What's up?
What's up, D-Rock?
What's going on? We're here joined by Brad Marten and Bryan Marten, the brothers from Spy High Mountain System. Welcome.
Hey, thank you guys.
Howdy.
Appreciate being here.
Hell yeah. How you doing, Bryan?
Not bad.
Cool. I'm excited, man. We're here at the Iowa Deer Classic. We've been hitting up all the trade shows all year. We just came from the Mohegan Show in Connecticut. Before that was Harrisburg, and we're just grinding it out. And our mission is bringing new stuff in the industry out to the public. And Trev, as well as Ryan, he couldn't make it because he's busy helping out the Wild Edge Inc. booth right now, which is one of our sponsors. We're just doing the rounds, meeting and greeting, and you guys got our attention right away with your product. So let's kick right into it. Let's start with who are you, where you're from, and where we can find you.
So we're Spy High Mounting System. We manufacture and sell a trail camera mounting system. It's universal to any trail camera out there. We haven't found one we cannot mount to. Everything is done from the ground. You mount them, check them, and retrieve them. Check your SD cards, change batteries. Everything's done from the ground. You can mount your cameras, elevate them from 10 feet all the way up to as many poles as you can manage to put together is how high you can get them. Ideally, mounting cameras up high, it has several advantages. Most people go to the anti-theft, and really some of that is a huge advantage because the camera technology is just outstanding and making leaps and bounds nowadays. And with that comes a little bit higher price tag. So getting it up there, if it saves you from getting one camera stolen, it's already paid for itself.
Absolutely.
I agree. And Bryan, we walked by the booth and you were so helpful to demonstrate it. So can you go break down the process and how that works and try to paint the picture for the listener?
Oh, great. Well, start off, you screw through the 1/4-20 on the bottom of your camera, either on the bottom or the back. You screw that onto our camera platform. You take the tree auger and you put that on the end of the pole. stick that up. Right around 12 to 14 feet is where I like it in the camera range.
Nice.
So use the pole. You can use the drill driver that is included in our kit. You can do it by hand just as easy. I set mine up a few miles back, so I don't carry a drill with me. So I do mine by hand. But if you're running multiple cameras, have a way to carry the drill. Drill is a very nice asset.
Nice. Disregard the knocking on the door.
We're in the media room right now, and there's some people knocking on the door. So we just keep on going. So you're saying that you use yours by hand. So so what it is it goes into the driver, and you can either, there's an attachment for a drill at the bottom of it where you're standing there, so you have the pole 12 feet in the air, and you can either turn it by hand to crank it in, or you can use a drill to do so.
Yes.
Okay.
That's awesome. So what other adapters do you have with the kit? Can you break down the kit for us?
Yeah, so essentially we sell a lot, whatever we can package together to meet the user's need. But we push our complete system, so that comes with two 2-foot poles that connect together, and when extended, they give you 8 feet of reach plus your height. So that's where we're saying you get from that 10 to 15 foot range. And then in that system, it gives you everything you need to mount 2 cameras. So that includes the 2 mounts, the 2 tree attachments, the 2 poles. And then we also include a laser, which is a green day laser. And that's what you can use the pole as well to really pinpoint where you want your camera aimed. And that's a quick disconnect as well. And then also with that system is a limb saw that attaches to the same pole, and that's why we call it a system. And each additional camera mount, like Bryan said, it's universal to any camera, and we sell packages from 1-pack to a 5-pack, whatever the customer needs.
Nice. So it sounds pretty complete. And through the demonstration that Bryan was giving me, the laser really caught my eye. For one, obviously, it's shiny and it's a light. It's like, ooh, what's that? And then the adapter that goes to it, it really, really helps you pinpoint the camera angle on where you want it to point, it's genius. It's genius because you never really know, and there's not many items out there as it is for your camera angle to be pinpoint where you want it. You kind of have to guess unless that camera has a LCD screen on it. So just to even come up with that idea, it was genius, I think.
Yeah, and the other thing is I always make an analogy is a lot of cameras, they come with a strap. Well, that strap sticks out from 100 yards away at eye level. Hardly anybody goes through the woods that's a hunter that is looking up for cameras.
Right.
If they are, they're camera hunting, and there's no such thing as absolute security in any part of this world. But elevating that camera. Also, the analogy I referred to is I always say it's like if I bring a 12-pack of beer home and put it on my coffee table, that's the first thing my wife sees when she walks in the room. It's the same thing with trail cameras. It's something foreign. It doesn't matter if it's elk, deer, whatever you're hunting. They're going to recognize that there's something foreign in there. Now, the science behind it, I don't know the answer to whether or not that spooks big bucks or not. But definitely elevating it, same principle as tree hunting from a stand. The animals don't look up and see that.
And you know what? What I've come to find that's very beneficial is hanging them high. You actually get that up in tree stand perspective. In the sense of you get to see where the animal's coming down from whatever funnel or run, but from the perspective you'd be seeing it while in the stand. So it just really brings that dynamic, a realistic dynamic to the hunter that hunts from the stand, which is just incredible. It really is. And very complete. Like you said, it comes even with a saw for a branch trimmer. And it just seems very universal to everything. And the fact that it mounts to every single camera that you've come across and you haven't found a camera that it doesn't mount to, I think is going to be ideal. And I'm really amazed to even come across something like that. I'm surprised you didn't sell out today, to be very honest.
Yeah, and with any company, we've only been selling for 14 months, so we're brand new on the market, and of course we're trying to get our name out there as well. But we stand behind this stuff. We mold all of our parts right in Montana. It's made out of a product that's called nylon super tough. And pretty much, if you find a way to break it, we replace it and we pay the shipping. We stand behind it 100% because I think customer service is lacking in a lot of the big box companies nowadays. And so we're really hitting that with a guarantee behind our product. And of course, with any product, we've got a backstory of how did we come up with this is what a lot of customers ask.
That was my next question, actually.
And and it probably sounds like I'm from, and not banging on Mississippi or nothing, but my stepfather-in-law, I got that right. He was a federal trapper for 32 years in Montana, and when grizzly bears would come in and kill ranchers' livestock, these guys were called in to trap those bears, and they had to document the whole process by trail cameras. Well, the bears, they would come in, and the first thing they do is chomp on the cameras, and B, it attracts the public. And so he started with a rudimentary type system, mounting them up high, and it kind of just evolved from there. People started asking, can you make me one of them? Where can I get one? So we started the patent process and went through that whole rigor mortis type process, but we got there, and here we are today.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah. So this being a family business, Bryan, how do you guys get along? I mean, you guys are brothers. I'm sure growing up, you guys had your tiffs. How has it been in the business world now?
Business has been good between us. We still have our little tiffs, but we try to keep that out of the business.
You guys ever end up wrestling under disagreement at times? I mean,
well, you're right on. I mean, there's nothing like family business because you can be extremely mean to each other, but we get over it because we are blood.
Right.
We all got day jobs, so we're real grassroots as far as we operate right out of our garage. I sometimes joke that I got 4 factories. Hit my brother's garage, my father-in-law's garage, our kitchen table, and so forth. I mean, we're putting we call Spy High our all-night job because we all got day jobs too. But
it's another full-time job, working class.
Absolutely.
That's like we're working class as well. We work during the day, and when we squeeze in the time to podcast, that's what we do it. We're on the grind as well. And that's what it takes, though. If you believe in something and you really apply yourself, you could really help out the industry. And I think we're all on the same level as far as being 100% full-time hunting industry is the goal. It's just the passion. So you guys must hunt then.
Absolutely.
So you guys bow hunt at all, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, that's kind of our passion is the archery hunting, and we're not so much in the Midwest here. There's a lot of whitetail not fanatics. Maybe it is the right word. Whitetails are the
they
thing
live and
back
breathe
here.
it. Yeah,
absolutely. We're mostly elk hunters, but
that's not a bad alternative.
But in Montana, you can get tags for everything, so we're hunting everything all the time, but.
How cool is that?
That's awesome. Yeah, that's totally different. I don't think that we've had actual elk hunters on the show yet.
No, we had a couple, but not like this. That you guys have the go-to to the elk.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's crazy. That's so you guys do archery? You elk hunt archery?
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Nice. It's the only way to go.
So like more or less during the rut, like calling, bugling, or are you sitting over wallows, or like how?
Well, and that's interesting because. I never used to use trail cameras. I was a spot and stock type hunter, bugling, but there's getting to be a lot of archery hunters. And with the reintroduction of wolves in Montana, it seems like, to me, in my opinion, it has changed elk hunting completely. I can bugle. Elk will still bugle back at you, but it seems like they're pushing cows away. So in Harrisburg, actually, I bought my first tree stand because of my cameras, because I started hunting this year with cameras way early in the season, putting them in spots that I thought, this might be a good spot. And I'm like, so that camera traffic, I call it the fifth dimension of hunting, really.
Yeah.
That intel, and with the time with the business and my day job, looking at those pictures, I'm like, what the heck? Why wouldn't I just put a tree stand right there? And these bulls are coming in every day.
Yeah.
Why would I beat the bush? Plus, I'm not the youngest chicken anymore and can't hike the mountains like I used to. But trail cameras and the mounting system that we got has changed the way I'm hunting now.
That's awesome.
That is really cool how you apply, and that's what it takes too. Not to beat a dead horse, so to speak, but that's what it's going to take. You need to believe in the product that you're pushing. You know, if you didn't, then you wouldn't be much of a salesman or a contributor to the outdoor industry. So I'm actually very intrigued because Montana has always been a bucket list for me as far as hunting. What's your guys' setup for archery?
Well, like I said, this is going to be my first year that I'm going to be hunting out of a tree stand. But I mean, we've got a cabin, and it backs up to the Bob Marshall Wilderness, which I think is like 5 million acres, a lot of public land. Essentially, we start hunting, very early in the season, even before the opening day, just to see what's going on. We've had a lot of forest fires, and that changes elk behavior as well.
Oh, without a doubt. What are you guys using for bows?
I use a Bowtech.
Bowtech? And what are you running for a sight?
Shabeen.
We're sponsored by Shabeen Brewing back home, so it's nothing like being sponsored by a beer company.
I'm pretty sure I have a True Glow on there.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Single pin? 4-pin? 3-pin?
5.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
All right.
What are you running?
Well, I'm going to probably break a lot of rules by telling you this, but I got a new bow sight this year. It's an IQ, but I started you start practicing every day after work, running 10 shots and
nice.
With backpacks on. I run a Bowtech too, but it's like 15 years old, and all the paint's even rubbing off of it.
That's all right. You hit what you aim. I mean, you hit what you aim at, right?
Yeah, and my old sight I had really far, really, really dang close, and 40.
Nice. Hey, if it works, don't break, or how's that go? If it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Exactly. So I'm looking at the mount here, and I want to ask a couple questions on it. So how this works is you have the screw that goes into the original piece, which goes to a cylinder, okay? And that on the inside, is there like a button that gets pushed when you go to put it in with the bar?
And that's kind of the super big challenge with this product. If I was to hang this product on any big box store and people would walk right by it, it is a highly, highly visual type product. And that's why we put it up and down all day long with us and our sales staff. But essentially, everything's run from the end of the pole. And there's an install side and a remove side to the camera. So when you're back at home, you got your camera already mounted on our mount. And when you come into the field, you can obviously see the install side. And there's really a hex on there, and that's where you get the torque. I'm getting kind of into the weeds on this, but essentially one side you install it on, and that allows the pull to release. You flip it 180, and it positively locks onto the camera mount, and you pull it back, and that's what allows that camera to release from what we call the tree attachment.
Okay,
that is really cool.
Yeah,
man.
That's what I was trying to understand, and that's it. Now it looks like it. So you have the tree attachment, then it goes to the camera mount attachment, and then it takes a 90 degree and goes to a 360 degree ball, which then goes up to we'll call it the platform for the actual camera, and then there's a little piece that comes off it, and that's where you stick it in to put the laser in to see where you're pointed when you're swiveling it around for the three, so you can see where it's actually pointed once you're up and actually in the tree.
Yep. So
That's
that
awesome.
It's on a swivel, a ball swivel, so that's what allows you to adjust it from the ground. and utilize that laser. And
it looks like you could adjust the tension of the ball too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you want that tension to be
snug.
pretty dang snug, because you got a ton of leverage when you're 15 feet down on the ground. So yeah, you want that really, really nice and snug.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So what are the price points on a system like this?
So like I mentioned before, the price point on it, we push our complete system, and that comes with that whole package that allows you to kind of to get set up. And then, so we're talking our MSRP on that on our website is about $225, and then our show pricing at the Iowa Deer Classic is $199. So you save here, you save about $20 plus whatever the shipping is, $20 to $40.
Yeah.
And then each additional camera mount, because some guys are running, it's crazy. Some guys are running 20 to 100 cameras. I don't even know how they afford batteries.
I
but
know.
So
It's crazy.
Each additional mount is around $16. The more mounts, we package them in 5-packs, so you can get the more you buy, the better the discount.
Oh, nice. So you have separate little accessories or add-ons that you can purchase as well.
Yeah.
That's really nice. And where do we find you, though? Where do we find this product?
SpyEyeMounts.com is our direct-to-consumer website, and we're in several of the smaller. We started out with the smaller dealerships, and that's one thing. We were at ATA, and we found that we went there, and we were told, be ready to have the sky fall basically on you in mass quantities. But mostly it's the smaller dealers that we're buying, which is great. We love the mom and pop stores and the 5-store chains type things. So that's mostly our community. And like I said, we've been to several trade shows, as many as we could go to. We're trying to hit all points of the country just to start getting the word spread.
Nice. It'd be really cool to see y'all in Connecticut. I know that'd be quite the haul, but that'd be really cool for the Mohegan show. I think it'd do really well, And then,
especially the theft. I mean, the theft is the biggest point that I see this
especially
to be a great thing.
In New England. That's huge in our parts. For some reason, it's like you can't leave anything in the woods because it'll get stolen.
It's not even the hunters, though. Sometimes it's the anti-hunters,
right?
And that this would be a huge thing. I've had so many cameras, and that's why I personally, the group of guys that I hunt with, we use SpyPoint solar cams, and that's what that is. And it's because we can track it and see when something goes missing or this starts moving and this, that, and the other thing. But really, in all honesty, when it goes moving, like
cell cams, you meant?
Yeah. We had one that was stolen and it went missing, and then we looked at it and it's in the terminal of JFK Airport. I mean, what do you do at that point? But that's getting it high like that is just that's evolutionizing.
Yeah,
trail cameras.
Like I told you before, when we did the quick runarounds, I've been climbing trees and setting them up high with like sticks or the Wild Edge steps. I mean, if you guys haven't checked out that booth, being a hunter, you need to saddle up. It's definitely if you're mobile hunting, especially that's the new trend, and it's a good reason why. And they have a couple tree trunks over there in the booth, P18.
Especially for someone that like you guys are hiking in the woods.
Yeah,
you don't have to hike in the tree stand or nothing, and it's just a step, and they lock right on the tree, and you can get right up, and they're about a pound a piece, and it's definitely something to look into, and you don't have to be carrying anything heavy into the woods.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I mean, we've touched on a lot of different aspects of your system. Is there anything else up and coming that you might be working on that maybe you can kind of disclose a little bit?
Oh, yeah. So we kind of described the complete system, but we know that, I mean, we've tested all the poles out there, and we by far stand behind the extension poles that we have, but we also know that we got to hit the low end of the market too, because most of the hunters or farmers, ranchers, they've got an extension pole, a paint pole, even a broomstick. So we've got the low end too of what we call our adapter system. It's I call it the bring your own pole. So it's an adapter that screws onto any standard thread paint pole or broomstick.
Oh, that's clever.
And so you don't get the whole enchilada, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's one of the lower end products that we're offering, and a lot of guys that just want to try it out, snag that up real quick. And then some states, it's illegal to put a spike or a screw into a tree. So we've got up and coming is a branch clamp that runs the same way. So you would do everything from the ground, and it clamps right onto the tree.
That's so cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
That is so cool.
So then you can be on federal land or state land with that.
Yeah, anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, and then our other big product that we're coming out with is what we call the multi-mount, and you guys mentioned it, the cell cameras, and again, the prices of the cell cameras are going up. And like I said before, if you're running 20 cameras at 8 batteries a piece, you could run out of battery money.
Yeah,
my battery budget's huge, so there's a lot of those guys that are using solar panels. So we got a multi-mount, so you can mount your camera and your solar panel at the same time because there's a cord between them. So you got to have that to be done simultaneously. So we've got that product also coming forward.
Cool. And what's the price point on the bring your own pole setup?
We do that for about $45, and then we did for
Very
this
affordable.
For this show we did one of we call it the pole adapter piece and 5 camera mounts for about $90.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that. That's really cool. That's really awesome. We have our own niche. Every podcast is known for something, and we definitely, unfortunately, we're known for cracking beers and cussing, but it's just to bring the everyman into learning and into the show, so this way they can relate and not feel so standoffish, so to speak. And 2 other things that we do that separate us from every other podcast is we have Ninja Tip of the Day and What Rattles Your Antlers. So I'd like to bring you into this next segment, which is Ninja Tip of the Day. What that is exactly is any good advice for anything outdoors for our listeners. Let's start with you, Bryan. Ninja Tip of the Day. What do you got?
Well, I guess the good tip is get yourself a spy hide so you don't waste so much time messing with your cameras and more time drinking beer.
Yeah, I like that tip.
I like that tip.
That's good. Brad, what do you got? Ninja Tip of the Day. Oh, I like that. I like that.
Hey guys, keep your head on a swivel out there. Check out Spy High mounts, and the tip is just keep hunting because we got to keep that tradition going.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So to start to wrap it up, we bring you to the next segment. What rattles your antlers? Brad, what gets under your skin in the outdoor industry? What rattles your antlers?
Oh boy, there's a lot that gets under my skin, but being from Montana, we get a lot of out of state road hunters that I end up being pretty generous with when I have to pull them out when they get stuck.
Oh jeez,
that rattles my antlers.
That's the first one I heard of that one. That was good. I like that one. What about you, Bryan? What rattles your antlers?
Well, he kind of stole mine.
I'm sure there's a lot out there that rattles your antlers. What's the first one that comes to mind from now?
Well, I guess second to that, the wolf population.
How so? Can you elaborate a bit?
It just seems like they're changing the way hunting is. They're pushing them down out of the mountains, pushing the grizz out down into the lower levels. There's been more grizz attacks, and I think a lot of that is contributed by the reintroduction of wolves.
No kidding.
Wow.
We weren't aware of that. Are you able to hunt wolves in Montana? Or?
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool. And what about for a non-resident? How do you get a tag for that? Is it readily available over the counter?
They haven't let us hunt non-residents yet.
Really? Because I'm sure you could apply the hunting skills to that.
So, as a non-resident, can you hunt wolves over there?
Yeah, I don't know what the permits cost. They've changed it. It's evolved quite a bit. I think now we're up to you can shoot as a resident, you can shoot 3 and trap 2.
Wow.
So,
that's
and
awesome.
And I just seen legislation that we're going to be able to hunt wolves at night too. I don't know if it's passed or where it's at in the legislative process.
But only residents, though.
That's probably open to both.
That would be amazing. We definitely got to exchange numbers, because if that passes, I'm going over there for some night hunting. That'd be really, really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome because our wolf season starts in September, and I think it's might even still be going. It's a long, long season.
That's awesome.
That's definitely a bucket list for sure.
Yeah.
I know out in Alaska, I have quite a few friends out there, and you could get up to 10 a day out there, or 10 a season rather. But that's pretty amazing.
I've done some taxidermy work on wolves, and I do the skulls and demerced beetles, so on and so forth. And the wolves are something else. They are just. I mean, we have a problem near us in New England where people say, "Oh, we have wolves. The wolves are coming," and this, that, and the other thing, or they're mating with the coyotes
yotes.
and making coy dogs. And I said, "Let me tell you something. If there was wolves, you would fucking know it.
You would know it. Yeah,
there's nothing small about a wolf. You know,
No.
I mean, a 40-pound coyote has no comparison to a big ass wolf.
Yeah.
Well, and B, my brother Bryan, his nickname is B because they get us confused, I guess. But he's right on the rattling the horns issue, because there's nothing more disturbing than when you've put in a lot of time and energy and you got a weekend to go hunt. You've worked your ass off all week, and you get out there and you hear 4 or to a dozen wolves howling, and the elk are just gone.
Ugh.
And
they destroy it, huh?
Well, and they run them out of your area, and you don't expect them to be there. So, and you can hear them, all morning long, and sometimes all day long.
Wow, crazy. So, I mean, Bryan and Brad, thank you for coming on the show. I really, really love your product. I believe in it. I'm pretty sure we're going to leave the Iowa Deer Classic with your system, because we could really apply it to our neck of the woods. So just, again, for our listeners, where can we find you so we can get in touch with this product?
Yeah, spyhighmounts.com, or at the Iowa Deer Classic this weekend. We're by the bull riding. I didn't wear the bull out yet.
Nice. Look out for my man Trev here riding the bull in competition with one of our other buddies from working class. And they're going to have to do it shirtless, too. So I don't know if that's going to be something to watch or something you may not want to watch. But it'll be interesting nonetheless.
We'll have first row seats to that.
Yeah. So on that note, stay stepping.
And stay slaying.
Podcast go straight to hell. Yeah. Speaking of hell, check out East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
We keep it real on the East Coast. First of all, I'm addicted to the show.
I like that. That's cool. Hunt, you live it, you breathe it.
It's a whole different world.
Just East Coast has a little bit more of an edge and a grind. It's a fantastic thing.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Well, number one is you guys like deer. I want to feel like I'm hanging with the boys.
Your guys just showed up.
But I actually saw Jesus.
The point where it is now, where it's insane.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
I just want to get the realest people possible in the industry. And you just got to piss people off. You're not doing it right.
Nothing forced. All fucking natural.